lady who choose lamp over luxury, Florence Nightingale. Hi, just people. Today I'll be telling the story of a lady who choose lamp over luxury. Like she embarrassed her whole village by choosing purpose over prayer, and the name was Florence Nightingale. And if she lived today, motivational speaker would use her life to charge you 50k for coaching. But before we move ahead today, don't scroll away from my video. Please and please don't forget to like, follow, comment, and share my videos for more interesting stories like this. Florence Nightingale was born in 1820. She is an Italian born from British. She was born into a wealthy, rich family. Like it's not family that can afford and they cannot afford. This one can afford. She was born into a rich, wealthy, first class family. The plan for Florence Nightingale was so simple: marry a rich man, gossip, drink, and die. But Florence Nightingale said no. At 16 years old, she said, God told me to help the sick. Like God told me to help the sick. There was a problem back then. Nursing was a very dirty job. Like it was not a good job to them then. Nursing was a dirty, stinking, embarrassing job for rich ladies. But Florence Nightingale did it anyways, even despite our family were against it and the society were against it. Florence Nightingale, she did it, as she said, God told me to help the sick. It was only the poor, untrained people, even the drunk people, that does that job. Respectable lady didn't touch nursing job at all. But Florence Nightingale, she did it, as she said, God told me to help the sick. Even despite the society be against that, she did it. In 1954, which was the Crimean War, the British soldiers were dying. But guess what? They were not dying of bullets. This gunshot, they were not dying of it. They were dying of infection, rats, dirty water, and hospital with no water. 42 out of every soldiers died. The British government was desperate, so they called Florence Nightingale, and Florence Nightingale packed 38 nurses. She trained herself, and they entered the war hospital. But what did she meet? Florence Nightingale met dying soldiers lying in their own waste with no clean bandages and no fresh air. And what did she do? She opened the window, like she opened the war hospital window. She scrubbed the floor. She washed the dirty place. She made everybody wash their hand and made them proper food. And in 6 months, 6 months, death rate fell from 42% to 2%. Now, listen to what made Florence Nightingale special and why we call her the quoted name, the lady with the lamp. Every night, Florence Nightingale walked the ward with the lamp. A place where, do you know the meaning of ward? Let me explain. A room where a patient stays, it is called a ward. So Florence Nightingale walked the ward with a lamp so that the soldiers went alone. So from there, they nicknamed her the lady with the lamp. So any little thing, they will just say, oh, the lady with the lamp came to check on us yesterday night. Florence Nightingale didn't use magic to treat people. She didn't use magic. She didn't even have it, even talking of using it. She didn't have magic. She used soap, air, food, and compassion to treat people. And here's what they don't tell you about Florence Nightingale. She wasn't just caring. She was calculating. She was a math genius. She used pie charts and statistics to prove to the British government that dirty, these little things, this disease, whatever, it kills more than war. She even dragged politicians with data and forced them to fund clean hospital. Florence Nightingale literally invented the modern data visualization because vibes doesn't save life. And after some time spent, Florence Nightingale came back to England famous but sick. Like, you don't understand. She came back to England famous, but she was sick. And what was the sickness? She caught criminal fever. And she was bedridden for most of her life after the age of 37. She was bedridden after the age of 37. Did she retire? Florence Nightingale didn't retire. Rather, she opened the first professional nursing school in 1860, and it was a idea we use in healthcare system in the world today. She built and opened the first professional nursing school in 1960. Her school was the first nursing school, and we use her idea in every healthcare system we are using in the world today. Do you know that Florence Nightingale didn't have any child? She was never married, and she did not have any kid. She said her patients and her students were her children. Sadly, she died in 1910 at the age of 90. And her birthday, which was always celebrated on every May 12th, is now International Nurses Day. So if you have any doctor, any nurse with you, please every May always celebrate that doctor and nurse, because that doctor is very caring. Doctors are very caring. They are very, very caring people. So I bet it turned out to be the one we used to celebrate, the International Nurses Day. So why am I telling you this from my room? I am telling you this because Florence Nightingale teach us three things, three good things. And the first one is purpose will offend people. Yes, your purpose will offend people. There are some purpose like you choose them and they'll be like, what is this? This guy is foolish. You know, when Florence Nightingale said, God told me to help the sick, our family and society were against it. That how would a rich girl, a wealthy girl, be a nurse? That's thinking job. Now, that stinky job, it don finally become one of the biggest career. You fit go where you go dey earn million now. So the second one is small things save life. Yes, Florence Nightingale didn't use magic. There's no magic. She didn't use magic. She used four things. And what are the four things? She used soap, air, food, and compassion to treat people. She used them to heal people. She used them to help people. She used that also to help the soldiers, the dying soldiers, and that is why death rate fell from 42% to 2%. And you don't need permission to start. Yes, you don't need permission to start. Start from the smallest till it gets to the biggest. You don't need permission to start this your career. You need to start it now, right now. Operate it, practice it, and be into it, engage in it. Florence Nightingale didn't get government approval to start her nursing career, even though it was the government that called her to help the soldiers, the dying soldier at the war. You don't need permission to start. Do it now. Talk to me honestly. If you are Florence Nightingale, will you say no to marriage? You don't get. Will you say no to marriage to help the sick, to help people that need your help? And also, if you have any nurse or doctor around you that you know that they are caring, like they have that compassion, they are pleasant to you, please tag them today and let's celebrate them. And what is that lamp? What is that problem that is disturbing you? You had better solve that problem. Go for that career to make a legacy than to be disturbed by it. Once again, my name is B.E Ola. See you next time.